Hi, I'm Ms. Hearn. Let's get started. In this video, we're going to talk about finding the perimeter and area of the figure that's given here. It is a rectangle. The reason I know that is because the corners are marked with 90-degree angles. We have a side of length 3 2/3 centimeters and a side of length 3 centimeters. And we have to, first of all, know that in order to find the perimeter, you have to add up the lengths of all the sides, or since perimeter is, let's call this side the length and this side the width. So the perimeter is going to be 2 of the lengths plus 2 of the widths. And area, when we go to find the area, that's just going to be length times width. Again, I know this because this is a rectangle. So let's do part A. In part A, we're finding the perimeter. So perimeter is equal to 2 times the length. The length is 3 2/3 plus 2 times the width, which is 3. Now, this fraction here is what we call a mixed number. It has a whole number part and a fraction part. And that is not how we like to have our fractions when we perform operations on them. Instead, we are going to convert this to what's called an improper fraction, which is actually, it's funny because it's called improper, but it's actually what we prefer when we're working algebraically. So you're going to multiply the denominator 3 times the whole number 3 and add 2. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11 thirds. So think of this as 2 times 11 thirds plus 2 times 3. All right, now when you multiply a whole number times a fraction, you're going to think of it as being over 1. So we're going to have perimeter equals, and then multiply straight across. We're going to have 22 over 3 plus, there we have a 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we need to add these two together. And in order to add fractions, you need a common denominator. However, if I change 22 thirds back to its mixed number form, then I can avoid needing to find a common denominator. Watch. So 3 goes into 22 7 times with 1 left over. So this is the same as saying 7 1/3. 7 1/3 plus 6, we can just add the whole number parts. So the perimeter is going to be 7 plus 6 is 13 1/3. Now just to show you that it still would have worked if we had found a common denominator, think of this as 22 thirds plus 6 over 1. Finding a common denominator of 3, then I'm going to have to rewrite 6 over 1 by multiplying by 3 in the numerator and the denominator. So we'll have 22 thirds plus 18 thirds. When you add fractions that have the same denominator, we just add the numerators. 22 plus 18 is 40. So we get 40 thirds. Now let's see if 40 thirds is the same as the answer we got before by changing it to a mixed number. 3 goes into 4 once with 1 left over. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over, so 13 1/3. So either way, we're going to get a perimeter of 13 1/3, and we just need to add in our units. So the units are centimeters. This is a linear measurement, meaning it's not squared or cubed or anything like that. Now, you can also add fractions and multiply fractions with your calculator. So next I'm going to show you how to do part A on your TI30XIIs calculator. So the first thing you're going to do in order to find 2 times 3 2/3 plus 2 times 3 is we're going to type 2 times, and then we have 3 2/3. I'm going to use the calculator's fraction key to enter that. So 3, fraction key, 2, fraction key, 3. And then I'm going to hit plus, and I know 2 times 3 is 6, so I'm just going to put 6 equals, and look at that, it says 13 1/3. Now let's say that I wanted to give my answer as an improper fraction. Remember, the improper fraction it's equal to is 40 thirds. You can adjust between mixed number and improper fraction notation using the function right above the fraction key. I already have the 13 1/3 on the screen, so I'm going to hit second and the fraction key and enter, and look, it changes it to 40/3. So using the TI30XIIs, we got 13 1/3 and we also got 40/3. So depending on how you want to give your answer, you can get it that way as well. All right, let's look at part B, the area of the figure. We know the area of a rectangle is length times width. So for part B, I'm going to say area equals length times width. The length is 3 2/3 times the width, which is 3. So you have several options for how to perform this operation. Most commonly, we recommend to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. As we saw before, you can do that by multiplying 3 times 3 and adding 2. So we have area equals 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. So we have 11/3 times 3. So thinking of this as a 3 over a 1, we multiply straight across, but I notice I can actually reduce before I multiply. So 3 goes into 3 one time. So multiplying straight across, we just get 11 over 1, which is 11. The units, by the way, on area are always square units, so this is going to be 11 square centimeters. All right, another approach is you can think of 3 2/3 as 3 plus 2/3. And you're multiplying that times 3, so you can distribute the 3 to each part. So multiplying 3 times 3, we get 9, and then we have 2/3 times 3, but think of it as 3 over 1. Again, here, 3 goes into 3 one time, so we can reduce before we do our multiplication. We're just going to get 9 plus 2, which again is 11 square centimeters. And then finally, we have the option of using our TI30XIIs calculator, which is similar to many of the other Texas Instruments calculators. I'm going to clear out my results from before, and I'm going to use my fraction function. So I have 3 and 2 over 3, 3 2/3, and I want to multiply that by 3, and let's see what we get. We get 11. And again, area is in square centimeters. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That helps other students to find the video.